up for a phony honor at tonight's Academy Awards is a documentary called Exit Through the Gift Shop that's directed by a graffiti artist named Banksy, who I wasn't familiar with before I saw this movie. I was familiar with Shepard Fairey and his Obey art, but I didn't know anything about Banksy. I think a lot of people are kind of trying to pretend like they know a lot about Banksy right now because they want to look cool. And everyone seems convinced that this movie is fake. And I am a huge skeptic. I think that Kanye West's mom is alive. I think that the only reason she's dead is because he wanted to go on Oprah and perform Dear Mama, and she doesn't allow rappers on his show, so he needed some kind of heartwarming story behind it. And she's probably on an island, like, sipping pina coladas right now. But I'm not the most, I don't know, gullible person in the world. But everyone seems to be convinced this movie's fake, and I'm not. I think it's real. I think that Mr. Brainwash's art is a lot like the stuff that I've seen. I used to know someone in LA who was very similar to Mr. Brainwash. The footage that I would watch that they would create was unwatchable. Someone said on my Facebook wall, I posted a status update that said something about how I watched Exit Through the Gift Shop, and it was really interesting to see the story of Mr. Brainwash because I used to see his billboards on Sunset Boulevard. And they used to bother me. I used to say to Marissa, look at this Andy Warhol rip-off shit. There's actually this Elvis in an RSSTB. It's been deleted from YouTube, but I mean, the guy was on Sunset Boulevard when we were there, and I saw his Alfred Hitchcock somewhere, and I was never really that crazy about the guy. But, I mean, I know that he had an art show. And some people are saying that Banksy and Fairey and maybe some other artists, worked together to create the art that was displayed as Mr. Brainwash's. But Madonna, regardless whether it's real or not, Madonna released an album with Mr. Brainwash's art on the cover, and unless she's down with the joke too, I don't really know if Mr. Brainwash is that fake. I mean, even if he was a construction of Banksy and Shepard Fairey, then his art is still successful on its own. LA Times or LA Weekly put it on the cover, but and it stirred up a lot of buzz. There were people that lined up for that show and paid real money, not fake money. So, but I don't know. I mean, like, the movie I don't think would be as good if it were fake. It still would be great though, and some people have said, who cares? Because the movie makes a point that you can still take away even if Guetta is an actor. But Banksy has said through emails something. He says, I don't know why so many people have been fooled into thinking this film is fake. It's a true story from real footage. Does it bother me that people don't believe it? I could never have written a script this funny. That's what I was thinking. I mean, he saw this thing unraveling in front of him that was so much better than any movie that he could make about himself. So that was the focus. I mean, it's real. That's what people are like. That's what these shitty artists are like out in LA. Every single one of these people walking down the street makes the wackest Andy Warhol bullshit I've ever seen. But I don't know. Scarface with squirt guns. It's really cool. Anyway, some of the criticism has been stuff like, someone said, like, some people thinking that it's fake have tried to argue their point by saying stuff like, from, I don't know what this is from, some blog somewhere, sorry I can't credit it, but there's also the matter of the film quality. The first half of the film is a jerky mess that's painful to watch, while the second half is smooth and professional, suggesting that the first half is truly amateur, while the second part was directed by Fairey? Why did they say Fairey? But anyway, the second part, Terry is putting on his show, so of course someone else is holding the camera. And, he's putting on this show, so maybe the person holding the camera is a better cinematographer than he was, especially since he's so connected with this group of artists. Someone else said stuff like, why would Banksy allow this amateur bumbling filmmaker to film his face? Well, at the time, he wasn't really an amateur bumbling filmmaker. He was someone that was down with Fairey, that had traveled the world and was already photographing people doing this illegal practice. So Banksy trusted him. And, like, I don't think that Banksy is really trying to trick people with his art. People have said that he's a prankster. I don't know if, when he puts those fake paintings up in the art museum, if he thinks that people are going to think that those are actual installations. Maybe he thinks that people are going to think it's vandalized art, but I don't know if he's going to think, if he's trying to trick anybody. And it was kind of vandalism. It's graffiti. He's putting up something where it shouldn't be. But, yeah. The movie's good, though. It's inspiring. It made me think a lot. And whether or not Terry's real or fake, who cares? You can still see these artists crawling around on rooftops and putting their shit up, and it's really cool. And it makes you think about people and their reaction to things. And like Shepard Fairey says, 1 million suckers bought into Mr. Brainwash's art. Does that really mean it's good? I don't know. Yeah. The movie's kind of depressing. It's just hilarious that people think it's fake because that's sort of, to me, like, the movie is speaking to this ignorance that people have. And, of course, people are going to be ignorant about it. But, I mean, I don't know. If the movie's fake, then cool, whatever. I'm wrong. The movie's still good. I still thought a lot about it, and it inspired me. And it's a great movie. And whether or not it wins the Phoney Award tonight is about as important as whether or not it's fake. So check out Exit Through the Gift Shop if you haven't. I wrote a blog where I put my top 10 favorite movies of 2010, and it was before I'd seen Exit Through the Gift Shop, and after I saw it, I put it as number 1. It's a good movie. You gotta check it out.